One of the things that I've been noticing more about people my age and even people older in their interactions with technology is I think that we're at the beginnings of a more formed modern like Luddite movement. And I mean this in the sense of like they want to limit the technology in their lives and be really intentional with like how like they interact with technology. It's not that they just hate technology and want to get rid of it. Um, and this is particularly formed with the release of AI. A lot of people feel uncomfortable with it and they're wondering if it is actually going to benefit our life if um, or if it's going to end up making our lives worse. Like, I think that the conception that people had of AI is that it would essentially become like the spreadsheet worker and we would be free to do art. And I think a lot of people are upset because that's not really what's happening with AI. It's actually making our workloads heavier, and it is ultimately causing a lot of upset to industries, and we do not have a clear plan of like what's going to happen when some of the jobs that we do today are going to be taken by AI. So I think that the concern is very reasonable. I think that people have strong reasons for being concerned and wanting to be intentional with this. The other aspect that I think is drawing people towards this modern Luddite movement is social media. One of the questions that I'm asking as somebody who's creating content is it ethical to be filming and posting short form content? Like, am I harming you by helping the algorithm keep your attention from maybe things in your real life that need to be attended to? I think that this is a important ethical question that anyone who's creating short form content needs to be asking. From my initial inquiries, I'm leaning towards the idea that it might not be ethical to make standalone short form content, or it might not be ethical to only make short form content. Like, perhaps the ethical solution would be to create both short form and long form content, with the short form content meaning to draw people towards long form content. Because my concern currently is that my videos are not helpful to your life, and that I'm harnessing your attention on something that actually isn't going to be beneficial to you as a person. As far as like my ethics go, I want you to benefit from anything that you interact with that is produced by me. And so like if I mean that's obviously subjective and I can only do so much there, but I do think that content creators have a ethical obligation here to consider their audience as like more than a means of an end, a means to an end. Overall, what I'm getting at here is that the way that we're interacting with technology, I think a lot of people are coming to a similar conclusion that it's actually not benefiting our lives as much as we would really like. And so they are taking steps to perhaps remove themselves a little bit from this technology. This could look like a lot of things. I think the most common form that I'm seeing right now is people are getting flip phones, or they're getting phones that only do like very basic things. They don't have apps. They're grayscaled so that their attention is harder to harness. And overall, they have a lot more limits or boundaries with themselves on how they're going to interact with technology. On the other end of the modern Luddite movement, we're seeing essentially a stronger immersion of tech bros. And I don't know that I love that label, because I think women can fall into this, but now we're asking the question of, can women be tech bros? And I think the answer seems to be yes, but I think it's just kind of clunky. A clunky label. It could be better. But essentially, these are the people that are embracing technology. Like, they use AI every day for like all day. And they have no problem with the increase in technology that we're using. They feel like it benefits their lives. They have access to entertainment. They have access to information. A lot of people, like, I think of like one of my brother-in-laws who's really interested in tech and uses a lot of it. He really does embrace it. Another thing that I've noticed with people that are embracing tech more than perhaps people that are like among the Luddite movement is that they also embrace more like capitalist ideas. Like they are a lot more confident and comfortable with a capitalist structure than people that are part of the modern Luddite movement. I think that a particular contrast is that people that are embracing tech are comfortable with essentially how tech autocrats or technocrats are impacting our lives. And I think another tension that the Luddites have is that they do not like that these tech oligarchs essentially are in our phones, in our lives, and they do not like the way that they're harnessing our attention. I think that the particular criticism is that they're feeling like they're being directed, whereas people who embrace technology do not mind that their attention is being directed. But ultimately, I think it's a really interesting formation, and I'm just really curious to see how this continues. Overall, the Luddites are becoming more skeptical of the idea that newer always means better, and people who embrace technology are saying, no, this is great, this is awesome, it's helping my life, I feel like it's benefiting me. And I think that both have really strong reasons for their position, so I'm interested to see how this tension comes out. What are you guys thinking here overall? Like, do you feel like you align with the new Luddite movement? Do you feel like you align with people who are embracing technology? I don't feel like it's an easy, like, pure and simple question to answer. Like, I know myself, like, I've gone back and forth on social media. There have been times where I've deleted it. There have been times where I've been really into it. And so where I'm at is I'm just trying to find a balance. I do think that I lean towards the modern Luddite movement, but I also, like, as somebody who has ADHD and other disabilities, I have found that AI can be a helpful disability tool. And I think that is an important consideration because, well, like, the things that impact my life are like the things I struggle with. And this is a technology that has actually made those things better. Like, I struggle with executive functioning and planning, so sometimes I'll use AI to help me plan out my day and plan out goals. And I have found a lot more success since I've been using this tool. So the question is, is this tool helpful enough that it's worth the downsides? I don't know. But overall, I'm curious what camp you're leaning towards, if any.